My friend Mike and I are in a canoe on the Harpeth River just outside of Nashville. And even though I haven't liked activities that involve water since I was slow clapped at a swim meet in sixth grade, we're chatting and sipping beer and floating under the sun, and it's a very pleasant day until we hear an unpleasant sound. It's this low, guttural scream that's getting louder and louder as the current pulls us closer. And as we come around this bend in the river, we see 5 kayakers, 3 adult women and 2 younger boys, pulled up alongside an embankment. And on the embankment is a baby cow. And 15 feet above the baby cow is the source of the screams, a mama cow standing on the edge of a cliff. Now, the baby cow is desperately trying to get up back towards its mother, but like a mediocre contestant on the final obstacle of American Ninja Warrior, it runs up the vertical hillside, makes it halfway, and then slow motion slides back down. And with each failed attempt, we collectively gasp, and I think this cow doesn't need our pity, it needs our help. Somebody has to save this baby cow, which is why my friend Mike gets out of the boat. As a group, we decide there's this small ledge halfway up that he should pick up the cow and put it up on the ledge. But every time he gets close, it scurries away as if it doesn't want to be hoisted into the air by a stranger. So I decide to join him because second responders are heroes too. And I get up there with Mike, and one of the women in the boat says, "Boys, y'all ever handled livestock before?" And I think about telling her that once when I was living in Manhattan, I carried a tired pit bull up a 5th floor walk-up on a day with moderate humidity, but instead I just say, not recently. And it's obvious because no matter what Mike and I do, even working together, we can't even catch this cow. Every time we get within arm's reach, it runs away and the mama cow yells louder. One of the boys suggests we put the cow in the canoe and we lift that up, which doesn't work, not because we can't convince the cow to politely get in the canoe, sit down, and then disembark on the ledge. We can't even get the boat out of the water. And we try a few more things, and then the boy this time, he says, "Now's about the time we got to take every single one of our best ideas and try them out right now." And so we take his advice and we keep trying, and no matter what we do, we can't catch this cow, and eventually we lunge for it, and it runs up the hill, makes it halfway, slides back down, and keeps going, and splashes in the river. Our biggest fear the entire time is that this cow was going to drown. One of the women, Carol, has been standing there with her paddle on guard the entire time, and it's not until it's actually there with us that I realize that the water's only up to her knees, and the cow's completely fine. Meanwhile, 2 college girls have come, and they've told us that about 100 yards upstream, there's another embankment where they think the cow can get up on its own. And this is when I see my time to shine. My instincts kick in, and I get down low on the canoe, and I line it up like I'm a billiard player, looking right over the edge, and I take a deep breath, and then, with the canoe, I push it forward, and I poke the baby cow in the butt. And it takes 2 steps forward, as you would expect something to do when it gets poked in the butt with a canoe. So I do it again, and it takes 2 more steps, and I do it again, and it takes 2 more steps, and I'm reveling in my heroics because I'm shepherding this baby cow to safety. But halfway there's another embankment, and it runs up onto the dry land. So I go up, and the mom cow has followed us, and she's even angrier now, and I look up at the mama cow, and she is screaming, and I think to myself, how much of myself am I willing to risk to save this baby cow's life? And the answer is not that much. So I step back down into the water and I let Carol go up, and she has taken a rope from one of the other women, and she's trying to lasso this cow, and it's getting worse. The mom cow's getting angrier, and the woman in the boat, she says, "Carol, you better watch out. That big ass mama cow gonna come down, crush you half to death." So Carol runs back into the water, and the woman in the boat, whose rope it is, says, "Carol, you best not leave my rope up there, because you know that's my favorite rope." Eventually, we get the cow back into the water. And it's been almost an hour at this point into our ordeal, and I think, again, someone really needs to take initiative and just go for it and grab this cow and carry it to safety, which is exactly what Mike does. He lunges towards the cow, he wraps his arms around its leg, he picks it up, and he walks the final 50 yards to the embankment, and he sets it down, and the cow runs up, and as I see it greeting its mother, I think to myself, wouldn't it be really weird if someday I sit down for dinner and end up eating this exact same cow? We go our separate ways, and later, as we're back drifting again, Mike and I pass by the two college girls pulled up alongside a fishing boat, and we hear them telling the story, and then one of the fishermen saying, "Well, sounds like you two are a couple of heroes." I wait until I get back in the car with Mike and until after I've texted some of my friends to tell them what I've done. And then I turn to Mike and I say, "Can you believe those girls? What kind of person tells people they're a hero when they've barely done anything at all?" Thank you.